What is self-sabotage and how can we actually fight against it, avoid it, and overcome self-sabotage? Hello, my name is Ellison, and obviously, as you saw from the title, today I am talking about self-sabotage and how to actually overcome self-sabotage with the use of things like self-validation. Honestly, throughout my life, I have struggled with a lot of different situations where I have been self-sabotaging, but actually blaming other people for the things that I was actually causing because I wasn't taking action on certain things or I was actually making certain decisions that caused certain situations to either not pan out or for certain things to happen to me that obviously led to my failure. And so today I really wanted to share with you what that looked like for me, but also how it could be showing up in your own life and how you could start fighting against it and using things like self-validation to start overcoming your self-sabotage. The first thing that really showed up in my life was my limiting beliefs, which obviously most of us know this is common knowledge nowadays that our subconscious mind is running the show basically, right? Our subconscious mind leads us to make certain decisions in our lives that actually causes the outcome of our lives. If you believe in yourself and if you have been instilled with this belief that, you know what, I'm going to be a wealthy person, I am a wealthy person, and money is easy and success is easy, then that's what you're going to believe, and that's going to cause you to take certain actions that will lead you to having money and success. Personally, I was never told you're not going to make any money ever, but I was always told things like the other people make the money. We don't make the money. We just work our jobs. We pay our bills. We're good people. We're middle class. We just hold the fort down. I don't want to hold the fort down, but I had it in my head that the only way I was going to make money was if I had a normal 8 to 5 job, and I was never going to be rich because that's all I do is work my 8 to 5 job, right? And so I was just in this cycle constantly of, okay, so I know I want to start this business. I want to start this YouTube channel. I want to do this. I want to do that, right? But I had it instilled in me that it was wrong, that it was stupid, that it wouldn't work out, and that it wouldn't actually pan out. I would never leave a 9 to 5 job, 8 to 5 job. I would never have a lot of money if I pursued my dream and my passion. And so what did that lead me to do? Right? What did that lead me to do? Because a lot of times we get stuck in that, well, you just didn't believe in yourself, so it didn't work out. But it's because of the certain decisions we make, right? It's because we make a series of decisions that lead to something not working out or something working out. For me, some of those decisions were, okay, so I started my channel believing that I had to do makeup and that I had to talk about beauty. I love makeup, I love beauty, but was it really something that I felt like I could speak on and should speak on and that I felt called to speak on? No, I didn't feel any purpose behind it, no real passion behind it. I just felt like this is what I should do, I like it, I'm good at it, so therefore that's what I should talk about. It led me to not making improvements to myself, right? Not learning how to create a better video, not learning how to have better sound, better lighting, not learning how to title my videos better, not learning how to create better thumbnails, not learning how to brand myself and stay true to a brand, right? So there were so many things that were causing me to make certain decisions, and decisions that they probably weren't bad decisions, but they were not the decisions that were going to actually lead me to success on YouTube. Other things could have been, oh, I was lazy with a video, I didn't plan ahead, I didn't do this or that or the other thing, right? Like I wasn't taking responsibility for my YouTube channel. I wasn't paying attention to who I was talking to and what you want, right? I wasn't paying attention to you and what you want, right? And so those were all things that led me to not succeeding on YouTube. And I mean, this could be anything, right? I mean, it could lead you to not taking an action. That was something else in me for a long time, was that I knew I wanted to start a business and I knew I wanted to do something on my own and really take ownership of my life and of my actions and what I was doing with my life. But I would not take action because I just had these limiting beliefs that it would never work out because I am an 8 to 5 worker and I That's my life. That's all I'm going to do in my life. And there's no option. That was my belief, right? That was my belief, is that the other people have the money, the other people have the success, and the other people get to live their life the way they want to, but that's not in the cards for me. So the first step to overcoming self-sabotage is to actually identify what your limiting beliefs are, right? What is going through your head constantly? And it might, you might have a hard time identifying them until you're really consciously like paying attention to what you're thinking, right? I had this thought pattern like just an hour ago, where it was like, oh, I want to build a house. And then I had this dumb thought pattern in my head that it was like, well, if you build a house, then you're just gonna lose it. I don't know why I thought that. That has never been a problem in my life. But I had this thought pattern that is like, you're just going to lose your house. And I looked at that and I thought, what? Why am I thinking that? Okay, like that's not true. That's not a true statement. That's not a true fact. So I have to rewire myself, right? So what are your limiting thought patterns, right? What is going through your head? What is constantly going through your head when you think about the things that you want to do in your life, right? When you think, oh, I want to have this kind of job, right? I want to go into this kind of career, this kind of vocation. I want to start this business, or I want to start a family, or I want to do this or that, or the other thing, right? Whatever it is, what is it that you are thinking about? What is it that you look at that dream, that desire, and say, that's impossible for me? What is that? Because the moment you identify that limiting belief, you will be able to identify the actions or the lack of action that you have taken in order to prevent that desire from coming into your life, right? You will be able to identify, well, this is me running away, and this decision is me avoiding, and this is me actually making a decision that's going to completely prevent this from happening, right? So take the time to really look at your limiting beliefs and what you are thinking in relation to your dreams and your desires. The second thing that I really struggled with this in terms of self-sabotage was I was so caught up in what people thought of me. You could call this a limiting belief or a limitation if you want, but honestly, everybody's always going to have an opinion, right? Everybody's going to have an opinion. You know, on YouTube, I was really afraid of getting hate comments for the longest time, right? I was terrified of getting a hate comment. Terrified. And so I refused to start creating YouTube videos because I was terrified that somebody was going to have this negative opinion of me. I overcame that. Great. And then, this, I think, is the biggest fear. What if somebody that I know, respect, or sort of gave a certain impression of myself to sees me doing this? What are they going to think, right? This could be like the old family friends that, they're always around. I grew up with them being around, and they've spoken certain things over me. They've encouraged me to pursue certain career paths. And then I say, oh yeah, I'm on YouTube. What are they going to say? And unfortunately, I have had a number of them say, that's wrong. Right? That's wrong. That's not what you should do. You should be doing this. This is what you ought to be doing instead. And so what I started doing, number one, because I was afraid of what people would think, and number two, because I actually received negative feedback from people that I respected, like highly respected, negative feedback for what I desired. Because of that, I started backtracking once again, right? It's sort of like the limiting beliefs where you start making certain decisions in order to avoid your success. The same exact thing is true for worrying about what people think. So either I wouldn't say anything to them, and I would avoid talking to them, and I would avoid saying, oh, well, I'm on YouTube. And that created this fear of YouTube, right? This negative energy about YouTube in me, right? Because, okay, so I walk into a room and I see an old family friend, and I know, say I have 1 million subscribers, okay? I have 1 million subscribers. Yet, I know that they think that being a YouTuber is stupid and dumb. And so because I know that, I'm not going to tell them about my career. So what does that say about my opinion of YouTube? that tells me that I'm ashamed of my YouTube career, and that I'm ashamed and embarrassed of the fact that I have a YouTube career, and that I think it's also stupid and dumb, and I don't want to share about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm embarrassed of it. Do you see it? Do you see how when you are worried about what other people are thinking, so and so thinks YouTube is dumb? I am not going to tell them about YouTube. Therefore, I think I'm embarrassed of it. I'm ashamed of it. All right? So if I'm embarrassed and ashamed of YouTube and of my career and of my pursuit, what kind of energy do you think is surrounding my pursuit of YouTube? Something very negative, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say that if I am embarrassed and ashamed to talk about my career with people, embarrassed and ashamed to say I'm a YouTuber, I'm a successful YouTuber, in fact, wouldn't you say that that is a negative energy surrounding the career that I am so deeply enthralled with, right? So, in terms of self-sabotage in this sort of scenario, it is basically you start out with your dream. You start out, this is wonderful. This is absolutely what I want. I desire this career. I desire this life situation, this relationship, that, the other thing, whatever. I desire this. And then you allow somebody else's opinion to creep into your mind, and you self-sabotage by all of a sudden becoming incredibly ashamed of what it is that you are doing, embarrassed of what you are doing, self-conscious of what you are doing. And self-sabotage comes into that scenario because you will start feeling about your desire something very negative, and you will start either making decisions to never make it work out, or you'll never do it in the first place, right? So-and-so thinks that starting this business is stupid. I guess I'll never do it. So-and-so thinks this kind of job is stupid, so I guess I'll never do it, right? And so self-sabotage, literally, it sneaks in through what's happening in your head. It happens, through your subconscious, through those limiting beliefs, through what you were programmed to think, whether or not your parents wanted you to be limited. Most of the time, parents don't want you to be limited, but it just happens, right? It just happens. Nobody's perfect. So it comes in through your subconscious mind, and then it comes in through the people who are having their opinions of you, and who basically, it's free. Opinions are free, and opinions that you didn't ask for are readily available and offered. So how do you overcome self-sabotage? Okay, so we've talked about how it happens and where it could be in your life. Welcome, my friend, to the self-validation bit of this video. So self-validation, and this is something that recently I have been really working on. Self-validation is basically you doing what you desire and what you know is right for the pure reason that you know it's right, and you know that it's right for you and your life. So often we get super caught up in needing somebody else's thumbs up, needing somebody else's kudos, applause, whatever it is. Here's the thing. Nobody's going to do that. If you're fortunate enough to have somebody to do that, that is amazing. Most of us do not. And if you do have somebody in your life who applauds that, right? I know that there are people in my life that, they sort of secretly right? But they aren't going to, in front of the whole gathering of people, they're not going to say, man, that's really cool. Why, I don't know. But people are not going to validate you. And you shouldn't be out there seeking validation from other people, because that is basically handing the control of your life over to other people, right? Do you see that? Do you see how when you are searching for validation from somebody else, you are basically saying, please, control my life, make my decisions, right? When you are desperately trying to take action to change your life and be yourself and be your most authentic self and do the things that you love and are most passionate about. So, self-validation. In terms of the limiting beliefs that are happening in your subconscious and happening, just floating around in your little head, right? In terms of those limiting beliefs, first, you need to actually be reprogramming your mind. You need to actually be telling yourself that, no, this limitation is not true for me. I don't have to live according to this limitation. I don't have to live according to what was preached to me growing up, that only those people have the money and we are 8 to 5 workers, that we make a good wage and we live a good life, but we don't live the life, right? I don't have to live according to that. That doesn't have to be my rule. That doesn't have to be how I live, right? That could be how my parents live. That could be how my sister lives. That could be how anybody else in my life lives. That doesn't have to be how I live, okay? That does not have to be how I function. I can function in a different space, in a different belief system, right? And I can create it. That's the self-validation in this case, is I am creating my beliefs. I'm coming up with my beliefs, right? When we are younger, our parents, the people we are around, they are developing our belief systems, right? They are developing this foundation for what we believe and how we function. But as with anything, when you reach a certain age, when you reach this certain point of maturity, I'm going to say, you start deciding what it is that you believe, right? In a certain faith, right? For me, I'm a Christ follower, so at some point in time, your faith becomes your own. Your belief system becomes your own, and you have to decide what it is that you believe. You are not living by the faith of somebody else. You are creating your own faith. And the same applies for your mental state and what you believe for yourself, right? For your limiting beliefs and for your subconscious mind. And so I'm not sure why we don't teach this, right? Why this isn't like a common practice like in high school and college, that there's these programs of, okay, so now we need to figure out what it is that you believe about your life and what you, like, how you want to live your life. So it is your job to start developing, to look at the limiting beliefs that you've lived according to, and it is your job to look at those and decide, is that true? Is that true? Is that true for me? Is that how I want to live? Is this fact? It's a belief, right? It is a belief about life, right? It is a belief about money. It is a belief about success. Those things, like they are available to everybody, right? And so you need to decide, yes, that's available for me. And so you need to start reprogramming your mind to really start believing that. And that is the first step of self-validation. The second step, which has to do with, the external opinions of people around you, and people that you don't even know, right? I mean, people on social media, people walking down the street, everybody's got an opinion about you, right? They don't last long, okay? That's the first thing I want to say, is that most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are, which is something that I had to come to terms with, right? People aren't just sitting at their desk thinking about me their entire day through. And if they are, they need to get a life. And so I had, and you have, to start looking at your life and stop asking permission, right? You need to stop asking for permission from so-and-so and that person and this person and the memory of that person, right? I had a professor in my life who literally made eye contact with me in class and said, some of you are not going to make it and be successful. Like, he just flat out made eye contact with me and told me that in the middle of a classroom. Okay, and so I had it in my mind, what I needed to do was impress him and prove myself to him and be validated by him and my actions be validated by him, right? The memory of him. He does not even remember me, I'm sure, right? And so I had to stop asking permission. You need to stop asking permission, okay? You need to stop thinking that, what is so-and-so going to think about this? What is so-and-so going to think about this? And once you get into this cycle of looking at your dreams, looking at your desires, right? And I've started doing this myself, is where it's like, okay, here's my YouTube channel. What if this one person saw it? Oh my gosh, like what if, oh my goodness, what if this person found my YouTube channel and he or she like was just looking at it and watching my videos and oh my goodness, and creating their opinions about me. Okay, so I had to like literally feel that. I had to process that. I had to process the fact that somebody I know might find my YouTube channel. That's sort of the point of a YouTube channel, right? I had to process that. I had to process that they might think it's stupid. They might look at that and think, man, this is stupid. This doesn't apply to me. This, like, why is she doing this? Why would she do this, right? I had to process that. I had to process that they might say something to me They might say, I saw your YouTube channel. I watched your YouTube videos. And they might even have some dumb opinion about it. I had to process that. And then I had to say to myself, Ellison, do you care? Do you care? Right? And at first you think, well, yeah, I care. I care. Like that's terrifying. That's nerve-wracking. But then I came to this place, right? And I had to sit in it, okay? You just sit in it. And I told myself, no, Ellison, you do not care. You don't care. I don't care if so-and-so sees my videos. I don't care if so-and-so looks at me and says that I need to do something else. I don't care, right? And it might feel a little bit fake and it might feel a little bit forced at first, but that's sort of the process of reprogramming yourself, right? And learning self-validation is I don't care because I love it. Because I'm proud of my YouTube channel. I'm proud of the work that I've done. I'm proud of myself for doing this. And I'm very happy with what I've done. I like what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I love this life. I love YouTube. I love this, right? So do I care if so-and-so finds my YouTube channel? No, I don't care. Do I care if they think it's stupid? No, I don't care. Why would I care, right? And so then you start the process of, I'm going to do this because I love it. And it's important to me, and I feel purposeful, and I feel passionate about this, and I'm inspired by this, right? Stop giving the power over your life over to people who are just going to hate on everything you do, right? Everybody's going to have an opinion about what you do, and unless you're doing what they're doing, they're going to think that what you're doing is dumb and ridiculous and weird and stupid, okay? That's what they're going to think. There's just no way to avoid it. That's what they're going to think. And so you need to start taking back your power, and you need to start validating your actions, validating your passion on your own. And the only validation you need is that you are inspired, you are passionate, and you feel purposeful about it, and you love it. Okay? That is all the validation you need. You do not need proof of something. You do not need numbers. You don't need figures. You don't need analytics. You don't need any of that. All you need, the only validation you need, is I love it. That is all you need. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below to keep in the loop with the rest of my future uploads. I love you guys oh so very much. I hope that you got a lot of benefit from this video, and I hope that you start turning away from self-sabotaging and start self-validating instead. I love you guys oh so very much, and until we meet again, so long.